All right, all right. Yo,
¿Qué pedo, putos?
what's going on?
Hello, testing,
Yeah, we can hear
testing
you.
1 2. Okay, good.
You're not a robot, Joel. You're good.
Thank you.
All right. All right, let me kick this off. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Cantina MX Football Podcast, episode 416, Jornada Uno results. For all those who have been long anticipating the return of Liga MX, we're going to be talking about some of the results that happened over the weekend. And of course, the big controversy surrounding Chivas' new refuerzo, Cade Cowell, and should he be eligible to play for Guadalajara. We will be talking about this and much, much more. And before we kick things off, just want to know we are being sponsored by Manscaped tonight. Get 20% off and free shipping with promo code Cantina at manscaped.com. Let me welcome the panel tonight. Coming from us, we got Joel. Joel, how we doing?
So, Jaime, doing good, man. I'm doing pretty good. Excited to see what's happening with the goats,
Absolutely.
despite their not so good start of the season. I missed the game, Jaime.
You didn't
So
miss much, but
I'm rely on you for how was Gago's debut.
absolutely. We also have Abdias, our number one Cruz Azul fan, joining us tonight. How we doing?
Buenas, buenas, putos. Pues ya saben, ¿verdad? Ya llegó por quien lloraban. Ahora, no hay pedo, güey. Vamos a hablar sobre las perras con cuernos que se llaman las Chivas
Oh.
y el pinche fracaso que son.
Last time I checked, we actually did not lose, unlike Cruz Azul. Just saying.
Señor, nuestro partido por lo menos tuvo emoción y estuvo bueno. Ustedes lo empataron en el último pinche segundo. Le salió un pedo mojado y por eso es que no perdieron.
Oh, no. We'll get into that, but I think a lot of Cruz Azul fans were happy to return to their shitty, stadium and to lose in front of your fans against Pachuca. I don't know, man. Not a good start to the season.
Bro, for the record, nos anularon 2 goles.
Oh.
Entonces, no mames, tampoco no fue tan claro, ¿verdad? But yes, returning to el Estadio Azul or now el Estadio La Ciudad de Deportes, which is fucking stupid. Whenever Cruz Azul plays in there, it's called El Estadio Azul,
Yeah.
which was a beautiful thing to see it come back. Unfortunately, it had to go this way, but in reality, this is the most Cruz Azul way that we can open a season. We came back home and we still fucked it up. The coach got drinks thrown on him.
Damn.
Hubo expectativa. hubo garra, hubo lo que queremos, ¿verdad? Ahora, el central no funcionó bien. Pivoti, se me hace que se llama ese cabrón. Salió como, no, güey, soy bien verga y la perdió y pues no hay pedo, ¿verdad? Pero las cosas pasan.
Yeah.
Diaz,
What's up?
you're celebrating the return to the stadium, but I've heard the Azul is cursed, and that I think it was built over a cemetery.
No way. Was it?
I'm not
That's
sure
what I've
about
heard, man.
that part of the lore. A quick Google might tell us that, but what I do know is that for a long time, the reason why El Estadio Azul was seen as cursed was because we won all of our championships in El Azteca. So entonces, cuando nos sacaron del Azteca es cuando se vino la sequía, y cuando regresamos al Azteca fue cuando por fin volvimos a ganar. Entonces hubo ese pedo de que, ¿verdad? ¿Qué está pasando? Now, as I mentioned before, the problem con el Estadio Azul es que históricamente se inunda y se inunda bien gacho, ¿verdad? I remember one season watching mi pinche Wiki Dios getting injured in the season opener because of flooding, and he was out for the whole fucking season.
Damn.
So it was, yeah, dude, it was so sad. Like, it was, that day, the pinche Wiki Dios out there tearing it up. And then you see him, like, just running, and he does kind of like a slide in a puddle, and it's done.
Wow. We also have Al Pastor joining us. Maybe he'll speak up later. But I think going back to the Chivas game debut for Gago against Santos, and like other coaches before him and other games, Chivas looked good, but failed to convert their chances. They had 19 shots, only 3 of them on target. They were the majority possession holders, but they just couldn't get any legit chances on goal. There was a play in the first half, a header, and it hit off the hand of one of Santos' defender, and the referee, he didn't call it a PK. The referee, this was his first match in the first division. He was a referee from the second division, and it showed. And there was just a lot of, I would say, just like inconsistency with his calls. For some, he gave Chivas a yellow. For others, he didn't give Santos anything. And then calling the PK and not calling the PK, and then calling offsides on one of our goals. And then there was just like a lot of controversy. And I don't think he should have been assigned to that game for his first match. Give him the fucking, the slump busters, as Joel likes to say. Give him a Puebla Necaxa, give him a Mazatlan game, a Juarez game that nobody cares about. But don't put him in the first match against Chivas, bro. Like, what are you doing? But some highlights from that draw against Santos, the debut for Tilon Chavez's kid, Mateo Chavez. He actually did look pretty decent out there. I think the nerves got to him. He had a few mistakes. None of them costly, but he got subbed out at halftime for Alan Mosso. Not sure what possessed Pavel Perez. I'm not sure what happened to him in the offseason, but that was probably our best player on the pitch on Saturday. And he seems like a man on a mission. I'm sure with the new refuerzo Cade Cowell coming in, it's lighting a fire under his ass and any other wingers on the roster currently. Nice to see Macias back. I think he still has a little bit of ring rust. And apart from scoring the goal, I really haven't seen much from Guti since his arrival from Europe. And of course, I said it in the chat while the game was going on. I'm like, I don't see anything Like Guti has been a non-factor, and then of course he ends up scoring the goal to tie us. But apart from that, man, I don't know, man. He hasn't convinced me.
Sí, güey, pero like, ¿qué más quieres? Ahora, el otro pedo es, bro, when you're, what is Guti technically? Defensive mid?
He's a center midfielder.
Yeah, cuando ese güey es el que te está metiendo goles, es tu salvador, no mames, güey. La otra cosa, acuérdate, cuando estás jugando en la sombra de uno de los grandes de México, de Cruz Azul, nadie va a ver tu pinche juego pitero. ¿Verdad? Like, I was busy. I was watching a good game. Because I'm not going to lie, bro. I tried turning into the Chivas game since it was like a 5-minute delay. And I watched it. And
They
I was
were
like,
at the same time?
Yeah. Yeah. They were at the same time. But so I was like, no mames, güey. I'm not going to lower my standards and go watch fucking Chivas.
Jaime, I posted a link. I'm not sure if it's to right here to the podcast. I put it where it has that little speech bubble. So the Cruz Azul training where they train, it's next to a cemetery.
Oh, wow.
Estorbando los muertos, güey. Damn, dude.
La Panteón de la Noria. That's interesting.
Oh, yeah. Diaz, I don't know, man. I would have gone to probably Puma Stadium.
No mames, güey. Ir al pinche universitario, ¿para qué, güey? ¿Para que te bañen con chelas y miados?
They wouldn't be there, though. Those fine students wouldn't be there.
Like, honestly, bro, I fucking hate Unam Stadium. Like, everything about Pumas is just... The track is a hot piece of shit. The fact that they play at noon. Like, everything about it is just fucking trash. The only thing... ¿Qué onda, güey? Iba a decir, the only thing that team has going for them is that little kid with the, like, Sharpie on beard that got showered in beer this weekend.
Oh, my God.
That's what I was going to ask. That was like his baptism into the club.
Into the ultras or what?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like.
Bro. And I don't know if you saw the video, bro. Like, after that baptism, that kid did go ultra, and it was like, Senor, I'm proud of you. You're gonna shiv someone in the parking lot.
I don't know what's going on over there in El Puma Stadium, but there was also somebody that proposed at that game. I'm like, bro, it's just like, I don't know, man. Chilangos, bro.
Wait, pero neta, like, I'm gonna be honest with you. One of the biggest regrets in my life is that I didn't meet my wife at a soccer match. And it's like,
you're better for it, man. I don't know.
Si fue Cruz Azulina, me caso con la tóxica y ahí estamos.
You gotta question what kind of women go to soccer games, right? Like I don't think any of them go like out of their own desire. They've always been influenced by like whoever they're fucking. Like, let's be honest.
Or just their family. They have
or their family,
brothers, or their
that's
dad.
what I'm saying, bro. They're influenced by like I've never legitimately met like a woman that is like a fanatic of.
Well, but I mean, Jaime, that
MX.
was like a make. I know,
I was gonna say
it was to just go. It was like a massive cockfest. I mean, you wouldn't make it to your seat if you were.
Like here in the States, like you'll see influencers, like because that's like a trendy thing to do now. In Europe, I saw it.
But it's a whole different culture, man. With the.
But in Mexico, bro, if you see a chick at a game like by herself, like she probably got a dick. Honestly, I don't know, dude.
I think it's changed though. I think it's changed because like. Well, yeah, because it used to be more just like dudes. Even if you look like Premier League, if you look at like Premier League when back before they built all those like fancy stadiums, when they had like sections where it was like standing only, and you had
Yeah.
what were they called? Their ultras.
The cop. At least for Wrexham they call it like the cop. It's like where it's like the standing room only. They're like
No, no,
the
no.
cheap.
The
Oh,
Las Barras Bravas.
like the ultras. Yeah,
What are they? No, they're not called ultras though. Shit, I can't remember. Valiendo madre. But you would see like be desmadre, it would be putazos, it would be like,
yeah.
it's like mostly a guy thing. So
Uh huh.
just to go for that, but it's not like that anymore. The way it's like they priced out all those type of fans, and it's more like family friendly now.
I see. Yeah, yeah. It's
And I
changed.
think it's changed even in Mex. I think it's changed a lot where you don't have to worry because like if you would go, because yeah, it would be intimidating if you're a girl, you're by yourself and you're in the tunnel and there's like 50 dudes all over you, man. Like just I mean, not on you, but like you're surrounded by them.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I've spent a lot of time in the supporters section and things like that at these Sounders games. And I ran into a couple baddies who were just there because, like, yo, I'm here with friends. I'm here
Ah,
because my dad, like, lifelong fan. In fact, una de las últimas veces le tumbé el número a una güerita que también no estaba chichona, pero tenía buen culo. So, ahí andábamos, estuvimos hablando. So, no hay pedo.
yeah. Like I said, here in the States is a different vibe. Um, but yeah, dude, I don't know what's going on in Olympico over there in Ciudad de Mexico, but going back to
They
cheap,
were called firms.
huh?
Jaime, they were called firms. They were called
Oh,
firms.
firms.
All
Yeah,
proper and shit. You think it's some company selling some product,
yeah.
Mira,
some business. Uh,
I'm gonna
but
give you
yeah,
an
it was
insight
desmadrosos.
A
into
ver.
what's happening over there. Se llama cultura, señor. Y aquí en los Estados Unidos nos falta.
Yeah, it's the reason
Wait, you mean
why.
for football?
It's the reason why
Well, it's just different
Cade
times.
Cowell went to Chivas because of the cultura.
Güey, las
La
tortas
torta ahogada, güey.
ahogadas a huevo es lo mejor que tiene ese pinche estado. Eso y la salsa valentina.
Yeah, I think the big controversy this weekend was around Cade Cowell's arrival to Guadalajara. It's been rumored for quite some time, and they finally announced him as an official refuerzo for Chivas yesterday with a very cringy video of basically saying that there are many dialects in Mexico and Mexicans and how they speak, and they let him finish the video by pouring some sauce on a torta ahogada and letting him speak in English that he is now part of the Chivas team. This is unprecedented because we've had pochos in the past, but they've always spoken Spanish. He's the first one who's like straight up like a gringo, man. And he was in the stands in that home opener. He looks very excited. He also looks like a WWE wrestler. He looks so out of place, bro. He's got like the bleached hair. I just finished watching the Iron Claw, the great, wrestling movie. And like he just looks like he would be in that movie. Like big ass dude. He's over 6 foot, hella yoked, and then just like bleached hair. I'm like, who is this guy, man?
He needs a catchphrase.
I know he's
cut a
gonna
wrestling promo.
yeah, he's gonna need some kind of nickname. Because I don't think anyone's gonna be calling him.
I didn't think of that. I mean that I wonder what nickname he will get from the media and then probably another one from the
Yeah,
fans.
he's gonna have to get one.
Yeah, the most obvious and kind of lame would be just Gringo. We've had a Gringo Castro,
I
not a
would like
Chivas, just
like cowboy. Cowboy would be cool, but it's English, so I don't
El
know.
Vaquero.
Nah,
Well,
it
it was a
wouldn't work.
vaquero, but or you want like an English type?
They'd probably call him Weddle, no? I feel like Weddle.
I
Or
don't know, man. That bleach hair doesn't count for
or
Weddle, man.
you know, because his last
Probably
name's
en
Cowell.
but
I would
not
say
La
Vaca.
Guadalajara.
Maybe call him Vaca.
Vaca. That yeah, cow. La vaca. La va a cagar, güey. No, yeah, we'll see. We'll see, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, how do you guys feel about it? I know we obviously kind of talked about it last week, but it was still a rumor. Now that it's official, you know, you're seeing everybody else talk shit about, oh, look, you know, look at Chivas continuing to sort of bend the rules with who they consider Mexican. And I mean, look, he has it because of his mom. His mom's Mexican, and they exploited that. Like, let's be honest, they expedited his Mexican passport, and this is where we are now, right? We're allowing players that don't play for the Mexican national team play for Chivas.
Which I'm gonna point out that wasn't ever a
It
problem.
it wasn't like
That was Vergara bringing it
yeah, that was
up
Vergara.
because they brought pochos and then he was like, oh yeah, they're pochos, but they can't play for the national team.
Uh-huh.
You know, but that was just him. It's like in the club going back to when they went Mexicans only. I don't think they even talked about that. Like that was like a non-issue.
I see.
Man, fuck the national team. Who cares about the national team? For anyone who has a problem with it, all my guy had to do was take his passport, his two identification cards to the consulate, and he got his Mexican citizenship. I mean, he didn't need to take a test. He didn't need to take like a history, ask him questions about Mexico, the culture, nothing, because they see him as Mexican. It doesn't matter what country he represents. It doesn't matter if he speaks English only. The kid showed up and got his Mexican citizenship within 15 minutes. So if you ask me, he's Mexican.
So tell
Yeah,
me
it's just
about
need
all the
one
Chiva
parent.
hermanos that cried when Julian Quiñones was
No
joining la
Chiva
selección.
hermano cried about Julian. Julian, he's been in Mexico since he was under 18. No one cried
Chivas,
about Julian. The
Chivas
problem
hermanos
with
did cry
Julian
over the
is
peruano
about
though.
everyone else that we don't have any strikers.
Yeah. I
It's
I
not
Mira,
about
I will
Julian's
say
not Mexican.
I was pretty upset about Ormeño for sure.
Yeah. Okay, see, I
miren,
told you
chavos,
guys.
aquí
That's the
está mi
door being
pedo.
open. No me querían
No,
hacer
I was
caso.
upset about Ormeño, but the main thing that I was upset about Ormeño is that he had one goal in the last 12 months.
And he was
So
born in Mexico City.
from
Mhm.
soccer perspective,
Pinches
he should have never been
racistas.
signed.
Mira,
Abdias, what you got for us, Mike?
so aquí está mi pedo, güey, ¿verdad? And I brought it up in our private chat when after we held the podcast, and the whole big thing is me sentó el 20, ¿verdad? Que por la primera vez o segunda vez consecutiva, ahora Chivas va a tener que meter a alguien en una nómina de no formado en México. Entonces Chivas ahora está usando 2 plazas de extranjero en su club. So, en los ojos de la Federación Mexicana de Fútbol, esos 2 güeyes no son mexicanos. No fueron formados en México.
No seas mamón. They're not players that are formados en Mexico. That doesn't mean que no son mexicanos. The same
Güey,
thing. All those
viene siendo casi lo
U
mismo.
team players, the Sub-18 calling up 9 players that are formados in MLS. Are you going to say that to la selección they're naturalizados?
Well, no,
They're
wait. I think
extranjeros? No, they're Mexican. They're
no, but I
Mexicans that are
think that
formed
applies.
abroad.
No, but I think this applies to naturalizados. So if a player like let's say an Argentine and he got Mexican citizenship, but I think that might be different than like from the Constitution where it says one of your parents, as long as one of your parents is Mexican, that you're automatically Mexican if you wanted to.
No, they
Which
count
is
as
like
extranjeros in the league in the sense, isn't there a rule that you need to start, not start, that you need to play a specific number of players that are like formed within Liga MX. So that's why they're not. That's why someone who might be Mexican, like let's say he grew up in Mexico, was born in Mexico, but then he was developed in Spain from like U8 all the way to U23. He would still be considered an extranjero because he wasn't developed within the system. So they want the system to develop domestic talent. But they're not saying
You
he's an
know,
extranjero like he's a foreigner. He has his Mexican citizenship.
that's a fair because I thought they were trying to curve, like sort of like some clubs were. This was a while back, but a bunch of players were getting Mexican citizenships, but that was just to like not count as foreigners. And so I thought that was why the rule came in place to not just have a bunch of players that was the only reason they were getting the citizenship.
Yeah, and to address Diaz's point, they're counting him as an extranjero because, in the soccer sense, he is an extranjero. I mean, even in a real life sense, I mean, he's an extranjero if he didn't, didn't spend his life in Mexico. But he's an extranjero that the league wants to push domestic talent to receive an opportunity as well. So they limit how many extranjeros you can have. So same thing with what's his name?
Wale
Chaquito
Quale.
Jimenez. Chaquito Jimenez. If Chaquito Jimenez went and played in Argentina before he accepted playing for Mexico, technically he'd be an extranjero because even though he's Argentino, he was developed in a foreign league. So he's not developed under their system, their ideologies, whatever development they follow.
Just their
Then he'd be
youth
an extranjero.
system. So no pico piedra tanto como los que están ahí. Entonces you go into a separate category, right? Because you're only allowed so many extranjeros.
Yeah, but
So therefore, in your plantel, remember we've had this whole hullabaloo as to like how many extranjeros you have. You're allowed to have 11. And Chivas, historically, el más mexicano now only has room for 9 more.
yeah, and like I told you, the national team to U18 level, they called 9 extranjeros up. So the national team, so you won't complain about Chivas, the national team who's actually supposed to be, representing the country, they have 7 more extranjeros than Chivas. So technically, Chivas is still more Mexicano than the national team if we're going by your logic.
Technically, America is more mexicano than Chivas right now, pero ok, no hay
Man,
pedo, ¿verdad? Vamos a hablar del equipo C contra ustedes, ¿verdad? Que tiene de dos
como dice
extranjeros.
Ricardo, you gotta defend yourself by bringing up your papa.
No,
To
no, no,
defend
no,
yourself
no.
by
No,
bringing
wait,
up
I'm bringing up
America,
your
man,
papa.
you're a poor Chemo, my guy.
I'm bringing
A
up
Chemo
your
using
papa, my dear
America
good
to
sir.
defend his argument. Yeah, qué tristeza.
No, 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 no. I'm bringing up la tristeza que es Chivas y el mexicano en Chivas. Que tú dices que traer a un pinche extranjero. And the fact that you're not seeing it as such,
What are you
right?
talking about? I just
And
told
then
you
at
he's an
that point
extranjero
is
to the
like,
system. He was
okay, so then
developed
at
somewhere
that
else.
point, why can't you bring in Volpe?
Because Volpi is not just an extranjero to the system, he's also an extranjero to the Constitution.
He's naturalizado.
Yeah, but he's not the nacimiento.
He is, güey, pero no mames, no, 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 como dice la Constitución, no importa si es de nacimiento o de naturalización, eres un mexicano en ese momento.
What part did you not understand that one guy has to take a test about the country, the history. He has to show that he has knowledge of the country. He actually has to go through a legal process. And another guy could have never visited Mexico, knows zero Spanish, but he shows up with his passport and 2 IDs and his birth certificate, and boom, automatically becomes a citizen. There's a big difference between being a naturalizado and being one de nacimiento. The nacimiento can scratch his balls, walk into the office, and get his shit.
Okay, so therefore, under that logic, just nomás para jugarle devil's advocate, right? Would you not accept Julian Quiñones, even though he's worn la selección, ¿verdad? La verde. Would
That
you not
Julian
accept
one's
him in
Quiñones had
Chivas?
to go through a test. He has Colombian parents. He has Colombian siblings.
yeah, it
He does
doesn't
not
work.
have a single Mexican person in his family, maybe unless he has kids, and that's it. But before him, there's no Mexicans.
And so then, no, you wouldn't take him, just igual que Santi.
It just doesn't work, bro.
No, I would not take him. No, I would not take Santi. No, it has to be through Nacimiento.
Man, wait, the fucking mental gymnastics that you guys have to go through
Mental
to like
gymnastics.
uphold these like.
We're xenophobia. I'm xenophobic. I want Mexicans only.
Puros pinches nopaludos y ya. Also, ¿sabes a quién se parece ese güey? Se parece uno de dos, William Levy o ese pinche vato de la novela de Rubí, which I think might also be William Levy. I'm not 100%
Is that
sure.
a bad thing or is that a compliment?
It's a little bit of both, güey. Se me moja la canoa, pero no hay pedo.
Some more Chivas news, and then we have Rey Orozco joining us. Alexis Vega, it seems like it's all finally settled. He's going to be returning to Toluca for a small fee, and Chivas will retain 30% of his, I guess, card. So if they sell him in the future, Chivas will get 30% cut. And I think it's for the best that he leaves. Chivas was not even on the bench against Santos on Saturday. And with that alleviation of salary, there is a rumor that Chivas can bring on at least one or two new signings. The big one being Chicharito, which it's been a lot of silence. And then a defender. A lot of people are saying Gallardo. So those are some of the other rumors going around. But we have Rey Orozco joining us. Welcome.
Yeah, I just wanted to weigh in on this Cade and Cowell stuff.
Absolutely.
I would just like to say that I'm a third generation Mexican American on both sides of my family. But I always grew up a Chivas fan because I identify as Mexican. When people ask me, what are you? They ask me, they're not asking me if I'm American. I don't speak with an accent. They want to know if you're Mexican. So to me, I think that we've had Mexican Americans on this team before. I think it's an outreach to. We've done a terrible job of reaching these kids, in my personal opinion, and we're competing with the Manchesters and Liverpools of the world for eyeball attention. I don't know if it's now, and I think this is a big reason. One of the big reasons why is because there's a lot of Chicano kids tuning in to more European soccer because they're not identifying with Liga MX in a lot of ways. A lot of the young Mexican American kids, and I mean, I work with Hispanic youth, and I've been working with Hispanic youth since 1997 here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And the difference is now is that I don't see the Club America and Chivas jerseys. I'm seeing Real Madrid, Barcelona, PSG, Liverpool's, and so I think that this is the league itself needs to focus after these types of guys and do a better job of connecting to the younger youth of Hispanic youth or Mexican American youth, Chicano youth, whatever term you want to use. And I only think this is a great upside to this. And if you look at the only other team really that has a similar thing in Spain, in the Basque region, they've already.
Oh, we lost you there.
They've gone to this type of that put a more competitive team in La Liga. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us. You bring a good point. I think one of the reasons why you don't see as many younger generations gravitate towards Liga MX. The big one is the internet and the globalization of the sport. I think back in the day, it was very hard to watch Premier League. Like you had to have like a Fox Sports World, on cable, and you could only watch like the highlights. You really couldn't even watch like live matches. So back in the day, it was just harder to access European football, and you would just watch what was on the antenna over the air, and that was Univision playing Liga MX games.
Yeah, and I think Ray brings up a great point that a lot of people are not giving attention to what this Cade transfer could mean in the sense that, you have a lot of kids, Mexican Americans, that whose dads might be, Chivas fans, Liga MX fans, wherever the case might be. But maybe they don't feel that connection towards Mexico where they do want to represent the U.S. But down the future, they wouldn't mind playing for Chivas if that opportunity opens up. Or a lot of kids who maybe felt left out because they're called pochos, they're not called real Mexicans, and then Cade has given them that kind of inspiration of like, hey, you know what? I can be a pocho and I can play for Chivas as well without a problem.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot more positivity because all the negativity is just coming from frustrated Huilas, Zorras, and Chemos.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a controversial move, but it's not really. It's not like too crazy. It's not.
It's not controversial. It's controversial because he's white. Miguel Ponce, he was born in California.
Yep,
The reason
Sacramento.
he's not considered extranjero is because he was developed in Mexico.
Hmm.
If he would have been developed in the MLS system, he would be considered an extranjero, even though he's brown skinned and looks like your
Well, what about
typical
Carlos
Mexican.
Salcedo? Carlos Salcedo, like he was MLS before he joined Chivas.
No, he was in Chivas first
No,
though.
he was in Chivas.
He
I'm
was
pretty sure he was
Chivas
in
Yeah, I
Tigres,
Chivas
and
mean,
then
first.
he went to
briefly.
Salt Lake.
No, but he was part of it.
Oh,
I'm
I
talking about a
see.
guy who's like never touched the Mexican soil
Ah,
of
I
the
see. I
club.
see. I see.
If Ponce would
Also,
have been in that same situation,
Yeah.
he'd be registered an extranjero as well.
Yeah.
I think Cowell being already representing the U.S. national team, but I think we're gonna see more players like that in the other clubs. We're gonna end up seeing more and more
You
like
know,
Mexican Americans that play with the U.S. that are. I mean, you see some every now and then, but I feel it's gonna be a bit more common.
you know, you guys bring up something that I've really never thought about. Um, because we've never been in this situation before. Like,
Wait, which
what I mean, like bringing in a player that attracts other fans. Because there are like those hardcore US men's national team fans that have been following this move, and we might now have some people tuning in to seeing Chivas games. I'm not used to it because Chivas have always played with Mexicans, so the only people that have genuinely always cared are like Mexicans. Like you don't really see, I mean, you see foreigners who are like I want to adopt like a Liga MX team, but for the most part, like we've never really brought in somebody like a player that has brought in like a huge like following or fans. It's not like when Ronaldo goes to, from one team to the other and with him comes all this baggage, all these followers and all this crazy attention to this new club. Like we don't have that at Chivas. So I think this is it's interesting. I think that this move on top of it being I think it's a good move for him and I think it's a good addition to the team. But I also think like from a marketing standpoint and from maybe trying to build out the brand, like this is more of a positive than a negative for Chivas.
Yeah, especially if he makes the national team and plays the World Cup
Yeah.
and the U.S. national team.
I mean,
I
it's
don't know what his
possible
chances are.
where
I don't
even
even.
if he is successful, what's going to do is going to open the door for a lot more youth players that from the U.S. men national team that Chivas might go after.
So
And
what
then also, you would think in the long term it would drop the cost of Mexican players developed in Mexico for Chivas, because now you kind of don't have hand tied behind your back. Now you're like, well, if you don't want to sell them to me, I can go explore MLS or other markets and get this player, this profile player I'm looking for.
let me ask you guys
Been saying
this.
this shit for 4 years now.
Let me ask you this. With Cade Cowell doing this, would a player like Ricardo Pepi be eligible to play for Chivas?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he's dual citizen. I mean, he's the same situation as Cade, both U.S. men national team
But
players.
yeah,
I mean, I
Yeah, I
think the
mean,
only thing with Pepe, most
Wow, look
people would
at
be
you
upset with
guys.
Pepe just because of. I think he had that one tweet where he called like Mexicans monkeys or something like that.
What?
Yeah,
I don't believe
I,
that, dude.
no, he did. He liked it. He liked the tweet that called Mexicans monkeys, and it was like in his liked history,
Oh my
and it was like
god.
right after he like made the decision, and then he unliked it like an hour later. So we're not to say that was accidental, but since then Mexicans had been upset with him.
Bro, who this is like weaponized autism. Like who's over here like watching this dude's every move?
checking his feed,
Like, bro, yeah.
digging through
Uh,
his feed, man. Yeah.
all right. I found it, but this is like it's ridiculous, bro.
Oh, you found the tweet?
Someone did a screen record.
Oh yeah. What did the tweet say? Read it aloud. I forgot.
Um facts, these Mexican monkeys can't admit they have no talent.
He liked it.
And it said that he liked it. I don't know, dude. Like
No, I'm saying like he has the same qualifications as Cade,
yeah.
but I think he won't have the fan support for that and other reasons.
Mm.
Well, I mean, it's been a while, but he could have been salty for whatever reason.
Yeah, like another one, Brandon Vasquez, right? Another player that Chivas could technically go after. He ended up going to Rayados because Velaz didn't have deep pockets, and he was using transfer market as his source of truth. But yeah, I mean, this opens the door. I think another reason why there's a lot of expectations and pressure for Cade, right? I mean, we spent all this big money. Like $4 million is not cheap. So, this guy better pan out.
Well, I mean, it is cheap.
I
See,
think it's
see,
cheap.
that's not you're looking at Chivas as equipo chico. Uh, we have, transfers now going at 60 million,
Mm-hmm.
or just for Mexicans over 10 million, like, going up to how much did RJ9 leave for, like 15,
Yeah, but Raul
right?
was
Something.
he was
No,
already
but
like
I still think it's cheap based on
No,
the
no, but
potential.
we could use that. We could just use that as a, like,
Mhm.
benchmark. Say what what an expensive transfer would look like for a top Mex player. So for it's that's I'll say that's a good price.
Mm.
I don't know.
Although I do agree with you,
I
for
think it's a
Chivas it
cheap
is a lot of
price.
money.
What was that, Habibi?
I think it's cheap because didn't he debut like at 17, 16 or something like that? And
16.
No, it is, but for
he
Chivas it's
did
not because they're pobres.
He
no, but he did a debut at 15.
Yep.
He's part of the U.S. national team. He's not part of the A team, but he gets call ups for the B and the C team. If he goes on a
He
good
was at the
run,
Gold Cup last year.
yeah, and then they take their A team. That was like a B C team.
Yeah.
So I
And
mean,
he's young.
if you're getting one of like the U.S. top prospects that for 4 million, it's kind of cheap because I mean, if he were to pan out for the expectations that they have for him, you would easily sell him for 12, 14, 15 million.
Yeah. And he's already over 100 caps in the MLS, so I mean, he has experience. Kind of reminds me of like the Carlos Fierro situation when after they won the World Cup, he was probably one of the most capped players that from that title run in the under 17, Carlos Fierro. I remember like by the time he was like 20 or 23, he already had like 300 games for Chivas, which is pretty crazy. So we'll see how it goes for him. And there's also another rumor that Chivas are open to switching to Amazon as their TV provider. Yeah, at least probably in Mexico. So Tigres and Chivas are both uh, having conversations with Amazon and to break from VIX, because in Mexico VIX has all the TV rights for Liga MX. And I know Chivas did that whole docu-series on Amazon Prime, so it seems like they have a good relationship with them. As for us in the States, I don't know if it affects us, but I don't know if that would be a hurdle to overcome. Either way, though, that's probably a lot of money, and I'm sure that would allow Chivas to get some good reinforcements. As far as Alexis Vega returning to Toluca, what
Well,
will his legacy be from his move to Chivas? What will people say about him as his time at Chivas, and how do you expect this to go?
Wait, hold up. I was writing something down.
Oh,
Side note on that Amazon thing.
yeah.
How I said before, screw the national team. I love it a lot because Chivas is saying, you know what, Televisa, me la pelas también. So no, for real. I mean, if they sell their rights in Mexico to Amazon, who are they giving a big fu also to? All those guys too.
Wait,
So I don't
wait, the
know.
rights are for Amazon in Mexico or in the US?
I was told from what I saw
This is
was Amazon Mexico
Mexico.
because Telemundo still has the rights to here.
Yeah.
Telemundo renewed just recently. Now, my question is, just like that season that Amazon went in and recorded the docuseries,
Uh-huh.
it's kind of like a curse, bro. It's like Hard Knocks. When they come in, the following season is going to be hot shit.
Yeah, that's what
So, do
happened
you want to
to
open your team to that? Juventus, to everyone.
no, also recently to the Jets quarterback, what's his name?
Roger?
Oh, yep.
Yeah, they did that whole preseason. I was hyped, bro. I'm not even a football fan. I was like watching him, like, oh, he's making a comeback, and got injured like on the first like 5 minutes. And there was also I like watching tennis, and there was a Breakpoint, and all the people that were on that docuseries had a terrible year. It was like the Netflix curse. So I feel it.
I don't know. I'll take the curse that comes with it. Let's get the lows out of the way so we can bounce back.
All I know is if it means more money, and if more money means more refuerzos, I'm all for it, you know?
Oh, I'm all for it. Have a Cade doing Carl's Jr. commercials. Have Chicharito doing, mental wellness commercials.
Be
Do
specific
it all.
though. Have Cade reenact shot for shot the Carl's Jr. commercial that Paris Hilton did.
I'm gonna need to look that one up. I don't want to agree to it without being sure what I'm talking
Oh, dude. You don't remember that thing? That's an
about.
iconic
Is that when she like in
No
the bikini
mames,
and
wait.
everything, and the juice is like dripping out her body?
Yeah.
Bro. He doesn't even have to wear a wig. His hair's that long.
Bah, pues I guess that means Pollo Briseño, you're out. There's a new sex symbol at Chivas.
Yeah. Yeah. Alexis Vega, though. Thoughts on his tenure at Chivas and what he leaves behind? And what does his future look like at Toluca?
I don't know, man. I think, speaking about Chicharito, the prodigal son returning, I think that's how Toluca's looking at it. Like, my son,
You
you've
think
been a
so?
bum. You've been a bum abroad. Come back home, we'll get you right. You're one of ours. We're not gonna let you go suffer in Querétaro. So, I think they have more faith in him just because he's their academy guy. They
Yeah.
think if he can turn around for anyone, it'll be Toluca, out of gratitude. But as far as what he left at Chivas, man, he left a big gap on salary, a big hole. So I
Mhm.
see it as a win. It's 6 months of a huge salary, 20 millones de pesos that you don't have to pay him.
Mhm.
The rumor is Toluca gave Chivas $1 million for him. The way I see it, it's $1 million
Wow.
that you wouldn't have had
Yep.
if his contract ran out in 6 months. So to me,
Facts.
it's all a win. And then also from the locker room, it's a guy you got to deal with. Like imagine like you're trying to
Mhm.
win a championship. You got a new coach. Imagine your goggles. Like, you're trying to motivate these guys, inspire these guys
Yeah.
to like believe in what you're preaching, and then you got like some little random bum in the corner. It's just like that's just annoying, man. Like, you don't even know if you can trust him. You don't even know if he's angry at the club. Like, he might be leaking formations or things just out of vengeance. Like, that's someone you just don't want there. So I'm glad
Dude,
he's gone.
it's funny the way you put it.
I think it's a failure. It's a failure for his
Pela.
whole the whole Alexis thing. A massive failure. He was called to be Chivas key player. Um, he, and to be at the forefront. And it was a Chivas team that had already played a league final, and he could help try to win a championship with the club. And then at the same time, he was, you know, in position to be, a national team player and play at the World Cup. And then I don't know if it's just injuries or a combination of injury and like his attitude, like his lack of professionalism. And he seems to have just like, I don't know if he just threw it away or gave up.
Yeah. So when I
So I
think,
mean, now it
yeah,
was a bit of a second chance, but I'm like, you shouldn't be in that position of second chance. He should be like leading the league, like, as one of the main players of the
hmm
league.
Well, I mean, ball is just like life. I'm sure in your own personal lives, you know a lot of people that should be a lot more successful than they are. Like, they have a talent for something, they have the intellect, they have a skill, but for whatever reason, they rather do other things that are not productive. So it's the same thing with soccer players. I mean, he's naturally talented. He is a talented guy, and maybe that's why he was never disciplined, because his talent always carried him
yeah.
forward. That he never actually had to put in actual discipline. And now what ruined him was probably those injuries. If it wasn't for those injuries, I'm pretty sure he'd still be at Chivas, because he would be getting by with his talent alone. But since his body can't keep up, that's where his weaknesses really started showing.
So they were talking about him on Spicy Soccer, and they were saying that he's returning to Toluca and he's gonna have a much better time because there are no expectations at Toluca. Like there's no pressure like there is at Chivas. And he left Guadalajara, or he joined Guadalajara already with 3 surgeries on his knee. 2 on one and then 1 on the other. So he came to Chivas like damaged goods, and I think Chivas extracted as much as they're ever going to get from him, and now he's sort of on a decline, right? It's like a car. It's like a depreciating value every the more you like keep it. So,
Yeah,
um,
and but that's the thing too, Jaime. Big reason he's being let go is not so much like that he's dragging injuries. It's sort of been his attitude, like
mhm.
always being caught up in shenanigans. And so,
Yeah,
you have a club where they're trying to eradicate that has like a big history of players fucking around and then finding out,
Uh-huh.
and your main player is at the top of that. It's a big reason also why they let go Pulido, because he was part of that too, where he would have scandals like when I don't know if you guys remember, he crashed the car, but his cousin took the blame.
No.
And so, yeah, he was involved. Like, I don't know if it's a car accident or he just crashed it, and then they did the switcheroonie, and it was this guy is just, supposedly just in the locker rooms, this mother, but you're influencing these younger kids that like, all right, we could do that.
Damn.
Um,
yeah. For that reason, Pulido is my idol. I'm sure the statute of limitations have gone by. I did the switcheroo as well. The only thing is there was no passenger when the police officer arrived, I told him the guy that was driving took off. That I was the
That's
passenger.
pretty smart, dude.
Yeah, he
Bro,
actually believed it and dropped me off home.
you guys remind me of fucking Kenny
Wait,
Powers.
great moment. That deserves great moments in. Remember, Dave Chappelle did the great moments in pickup history.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like a great moments
I
in
didn't,
getting off of a ticket
dude.
history.
So that I don't know if you guys ever watched Kenny Powers, but like,
Like,
it's like Eastbound and Down, Eastbound and Down. And like one of the first episodes, like he has like one of his like one of the people that he knew in high school who like looked up to him. He gets like drunk with them and they get in a car accident. And he's like, he like does the switcheroo on him. He's like, "What happened?" He's like, "You were driving." He's like, "No, you were driving." He's like, "No, you were driving." But look, with Alexis Vega, he's returning to Toluca. No pressure. He's in a home, his hometown, whatever. And it goes full circle. I mean, that's when the scandal went down last season. Was at the Toluca away game. So it makes sense for him to go back there. I think he left some good memories. He had some pretty good, historic goals, not historic, but iconic goals. But when the going got tough, like unfortunately he just wasn't the guy, man. Like disappeared, right? So
I think that Chivas number 10 is cursed, Jaime. I can't remember
we
the last
haven't,
time Chivas
yeah.
had a 10. I mean, there was Fernando Medina, but he had that bad, really bad injury that almost
I
ended
don't
his career.
I don't think he was
And
10 when that happened, but
he wore it,
he wore it
like
after.
I'm not saying.
Yeah.
Then it prevented Bofo from wearing it. He had to wear the number 100, which is probably a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
But I can't remember Chivas having like a solid 10 that you could, you could put that number to the,
Who was
like
our 10
face to that
during
number.
Who was our 10 in like before, like in the 2000s? I don't even know.
Was
I
it, that
don't know.
was
I would
Medina,
call it first.
early
I think I would
2000s.
call it more of a lack of quality players because you bring up other numbers. When's the last time you're like a quality? I mean, Piojo's doing well now, but quality 11, quality 8, quality
I
5.
agree, but in soccer, the 10 is the most iconic
Yeah.
number.
Yeah, but I mean, we haven't had quality players to fill up any number for a good time.
Yeah, I think when
8.
Ramon Morales was he 7 or was he 11?
He was 11.
Yeah.
Ramon Ramirez was 7. That was one of my favorites.
Yeah. No, it's been a while, dude. I mean, Cade's wearing number 16, so no pressure. But I wonder what number Chicharito will take.
Wait, he's wearing
14.
16?
He said he was.
Oh, they gave him the Mamado number because that was Ponce's number before.
16?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So los Mamados get number 16. That's the written rule.
Yeah.
No, but Chicha's getting
Well,
14.
the 10
That's
is
what
going to
took
be
away from
empty
Cade.
now.
I've been seeing videos of people already like getting Chicharito jerseys at the stadium. I'm like, damn. Selling out like hotcakes.
Yes, I've seen rumors that apparently sponsors are covering majority of his salary. I wonder how true that is.
I believe it. I mean, if
Amazon.
you're think about it from a business perspective, who's their sponsor right now? Puma still?
There's Puma, the Chinese car place, Carl Jr.'s, Saya Rojo.
I forgot about the Chinese car.
Wait, what Chinese car?
What's it called? MG or something?
No, Mercado Libre, no? Or Mercado Pagado?
The new watch.
No, there's a Chinese.
No, dude, there
auto
was
sponsor.
yeah.
They're like gaining market share in Mexico.
North Korean beer.
No, we have a sponsor, Mercado Pago.
No, man.
Who's in charge of that? They're bringing in some weird,
Wait,
random
what?
ass.
Patricio.
Like,
We have
Russian telephone
we have
company.
Caliente. I know we have Caliente, but
Yeah, I'll tell you right now. It's MG Motor.
MG Motor?
Yes, they
Yeah,
became a
dude, te
sponsor
dormiste,
June
Jaime.
2023.
No
It's a
shit.
Chinese auto company, and apparently they're one of the
Oh,
sponsors covering it.
wow! Look at us balling, dude.
Some of them must be selling some type of Ocho in Max.
I don't know. Their cars look nice, man.
Yeah, they do,
No Ocho.
Who knows how reliable they are,
I
but they
always
look
wanted
nice.
one.
bro. They got
They're kind of like
the.
Kias, like Kias. They look nice. But
I'm on their website. They got the fucking San Francisco skyline. Like, who you fooling, dog?
This would be all smog.
Wow, they actually don't look that bad. I ain't gonna lie.
They also sponsor Olympic Marseille. They also sponsor Liverpool. I
Oh,
mean, yeah, they sponsor one of the Saudi teams. I mean, these guys are throwing their money around, and we're one of
nice.
them. So I'll take it.
I am down to support the Chinese overlords. If it means we get chicha, bro.
we, we get North Korean sponsors.
So
Whatever it takes.
I thought the M so there's another sponsor then, Mercado Pago, cuz they're the ones that tweeted about like Chivas tweeted out something tagging them like, "Oh, hey, like I want to buy something abroad, like how do I pay for it?" He's like, "Oh, we'll give you 14
Oh,
reasons."
that's right.
He's like, "We'll give you 14 reasons how to pay for it." I'm like, "Huh?"
It's a credit card.
Yeah.
It's a credit card. You're right.
We're getting Chicharito on
This
layaway,
is gonna
dog.
look like NASCAR. Chivas jersey's gonna end up looking like a NASCAR.
Bro,
Sponsors all over
we're
the
getting
place.
Chicharito on the Klarna finance, bro. On the Klarna, just 6 easy payments over, you know?
Just keep it. You keep adding sponsors. Cars Junior, the MG Motors, the
Bro,
Caliente.
if we start looking like NASCAR again,
Just never really look like Santos, dude.
no,
Santos looked
90
like a newspaper,
like
like the newspaper when you the ad page.
you look at
The
Chivas
old
before,
Santos, the pre-Orlegi.
like Chivas 2000,
No,
bro?
no, come on.
No, like
No, that's
before Vergara, dude. We had
Jaime. Compare it to Santos.
Tolteca, we had a bunch of
That was
sponsors.
just bad. That was just
Lala.
the sponsors.
Yeah, I
Yeah, but
just
that's because they
looked
were
up
crudely
the
put.
info with Mercado Pago. So they're gonna be on the training jersey last tournament and this tournament, but
Oh,
starting
next season.
next tournament they're gonna be on the official jersey
Ooh.
and all 2025 as well. And then the more you use their stuff, more rewards you'll have as a fan. And they're saying that they'll have you'll win even at meet and greets with the top scorer, things like that.
Wow,
So
dude.
the prices for Liguilla. So it looks legitimate.
We had
Yeah,
New
Jaime,
Mix, we had
you need to
Sol, we had
look up
Coca-Cola,
Jaime. You
Sky.
need to
Come
look
on,
up a
dude.
Santos Laguna shirt from the '90s.
I'm just saying for
And
Chivas
you'll see what
that was a lot of
horrid.
sponsors.
I know, but I think part of it was because it wasn't, which is like we could link it to the, I think it was '97, the Nike shirt, which was it's highly sought after, and that was one of the beef with Sol, because Nike,
The Mex Lube.
they come, no, the Sol, the cerveza Sol.
Oh.
They took the back, like, because it's in a box, like in a rectangle with like a sun in the rays. So they took that out and just left the words, and it looked dope like that. But the beer people were throwing a fit, saying, we want it just like it looks. And those were some of the problems. And I think that was like before, where it's been, they just weren't sizing the logos right, just putting them just I como cae chingue su madre. I don't know who was in charge of that. But the Santos shirt, man, that It had like 10, dude.
I know.
It had like 10 sponsors all over the
Very.
place.
Do you guys remember very briefly? Colibri. Where were they from?
Colibríes.
Yeah, Colibris. Yeah, they had hella sponsors, bro.
Hadn't they taken over Celaya?
Yeah, they're from like Cuernavaca, I think.
I don't know if they I might be mistaken,
Or
but I thought they had bought
Moleros.
out their franchise.
Moleros. Yeah, dude, they had like the big ass Boeing on their jersey, like like the juice Boeing, and they had like, dude, there was no room for anything on that jersey. It had like five
Yeah.
like main sponsors and stuff. It was bad,
Hey
dude.
man, I'll
I,
take it.
I played in a Sunday League pub team
Uh huh.
way back when, and they used the Irapuato uniform, which is pretty nice. But back then
Freseros.
the sponsor was Bimbo, but this was the old Bimbo logo. Had like a
Oh.
little teddy, had the little teddy bear with the chair head.
I know exactly what you're talking about,
We
dog.
inspired fear away.
It's like the Pillsbury Doughboy.
Yeah. Oh man, I
Yeah.
wish I could have kept that shirt.
Yeah, that was classic. Los Freseros de Irapuato. We have some comments on the YouTube channel. Layana del Rey says, "Imagine Pulido being your idol." Um, we haven't
Oh
talked
snap!
we haven't talked about Pulido today, but there was one person that talked about Pulido, and that was El Tuca Ferretti. He said that he called him a tronco, and then he said that he would spend an hour after training every single day to help him out. Yeah.
Hey, I want to reply to that Pulido comment.
Uh-huh.
Hey, my guy. If you don't like someone that drives fast cars, fucks blondes, escapes as kidnappers, and is leading scorer with title to the most Mexican team around, I don't know who else you're gonna like. Okay.
I don't know about the kung fu fighting, man. I don't buy it.
Well, I'll buy it. I don't care if it's a Hollywood prop. I'll buy it.
Yeah. Some other scores this weekend. So America comfortably beat Tijuana 2-0. One of the storylines here was the fact that America lined up with 11 Mexicans to get the results. So congrats to them. They brought up what was it, the guy that scored the goal, Roman Martinez? No. Sorry, Reyes, Salvador Reyes. Yeah, he scored both goals. We'll see. We'll see how it goes for him. Looks like we had Querétaro and Toluca tie 2-2. San Luis beat Mazatlan 1-0. Rayados beat Puebla 2-0. And Necaxa, last minute, got the victory over Atlas. Keep in mind, Atlas were leading up 1-0 up until the 88th minute, and Necaxa scored 2 goals in the last like 5 minutes to get the victory from them. So congrats to Necaxa for that. Anyone that beats Atlas is a friend of mine. And Pumas, with the man down, got the victory over Juarez 1-0.
I think for the most part, all expected results. I was surprised that Herrera is still at Cholos. I don't know why I was under the impression that he had been let go.
I know, right?
And it seems like he could not beat America. That's interesting. You think his players would step up for him?
Yeah, Piojo, man, he's one of those guys. Which brings me to another point that I heard that's kind of disturbing is that as of right now, there are more Mexican coaches coaching in Costa Rica than there are in Liga MX.
Yeah, but I mean, it's one of those things. Is it something you're supposed to be given, or is it something you're supposed to earn? And honestly, this I was thinking about this the other day because in England you have the same problem. You have, majority of your coaches of your top teams
Hmm.
are foreigners. But then I was like thinking about like La Liga. La Liga is the same thing. You got like Xavi at Barca, but then you got Ancelotti, Italian Madrid. You got Argentine, Simeone Atletico, and
Yep.
then like you just keep going.
Aguirre.
So yeah, Aguirre. So you have like foreign coaches everywhere. So I'm starting to realize like for the most part, everyone's going through that same problem. I'm assuming Serie A still does a lot of Italian coaches.
Yep.
I would assume the French, well, not even the French league, because you got like Luis Enrique with PSG. You got that Belgium guy who won like 16 games undefeated. So it just seems that everything's just so globalized that it seems what Mexican coaches have to do is what everyone else is doing. Go invade somewhere else, but don't invade Costa Rica, my guy. Go invade England. Go invade Spain. Go invade Denmark, Holland. I think more coaches need to step out of their comfort zone because obviously you're not given that opportunity at home. But it seems like that applies everywhere else. And it seems that it might actually be a positive thing to be a Mexican coach in the Netherlands. It seems you're more likely to probably get a chance than you would in Liga MX.
Mm. It just goes to show, like, I think everybody likes to pile on and say, woe is me, like Liga MX is regressing. And I think that's just like a stat that really stuck out. It's like, damn, dude, we have more coaches in Costa Rica right now. That's a problem. And it's not even that many. I think there's only like 4 or 5. So you're telling me like not even like a third of your league can't be like Mexican coach?
Yeah, but look at the champions in the last 10 years. I think Pio Herrera is the only one who's been Mexican. Everyone else has been a foreigner, unless you want to count Duca as Mexican, but
Yeah.
technically
Yeah,
he's not.
it's been talking point from before, and also like it kind of like seems for clubs to bring in a foreigner, it just gives them instant cred with fans and whatnot, so they're more likely to want to prefer someone from abroad. And they've also I don't know if it was in Picante, but I remember they were doing like they were showing like how much uh like if you were a foreign coach, like how much more like you would, even if you had like a bad season, you would get like an extra 2 months or whatever,
You get
as
more
opposed to the
slack.
Mexican coach. Yes, they were talking about that, and that's has been a whole thing where when the league and this was a while back, it was an interview with Luis Miguel Salvador, who was at Monterrey at the time, and they were talking about how they had like a company do like some type of like an assessment, kind of like tell them like how they can improve
Yeah.
the league and make it more like um I can't think of the word, but like more attractive to other viewers. And that was the whole thing with uh, having more foreigners and changing those rules. And I think that's the same thing when they're bringing in coaches, and they'll bring more coaches from abroad, which is kind of a big, like they would bring coaches from abroad before, but I feel before they were like bigger names. Like you'll have like Menotti, I feel Basile. They brought in Leo Benhacker. Marcelo Bielsa was brought in too. Been naming mostly RGs, but there's been others there.
It's mostly RGs
From,
that we
from
import.
yeah, yeah, but I mean, we've gotten there's been coaches that've come in, just not as many, but like the trend maybe going the last 10 years, it's just as long as they have like that accent, and, they brought that dude that was in Venezuela, like Ramon. I'm not nothing against him, but they valued some dude playing in Venezuela over some Mexican dude having put in all the work and even gone to
I don't know,
Europe
Joel.
and
I'm gonna call you out on something. You're like you like to say, you're assuming. Why don't we give the benefit of the doubt to these
wait, I'm
teams
assuming what?
that they scouted these coaches, they saw what he was doing, they liked his style of
Oh, they
coaching,
do.
and that's why they brought him in.
No, well, I mean that's part of it too. But I'm saying that's been a big reason to try to like market the team, and so they feel that a foreign coach just gives the team more, you know, just gives them more credit.
Well, it's one of those things of like, yo, like Mexican football to a certain degree does become stagnant because we just recycle coaches over and over again. So therefore, bringing somebody new is largely beneficial. Now, something that I did want to talk to you guys about or with y'all about is how do we feel about NFL style foul calls, right? Like where they explain what their call on VAR was. How'd y'all feel about that?
I thought it was a meme because they didn't do it properly. What was that game where they first did it? Was that the Pumas game where they first used that?
Yes, it was the Pumas game.
Yeah, I thought it was hilarious because he walked up and said, and after reviewing everything, the Pumas player gets a red card, and he was kind of like nervous, and then he like walked away. Which that was not the point. The point was that you're supposed to say,
Explain.
after reviewing it, this is the reason why he gets a red, and so on.
Hmm.
Like explain the reasoning
Reasoning.
behind it. So I thought that was hilarious. So they improved that. Actually, I wouldn't mind it because on TV it's like whatever. But
Hmm.
sometimes when you're in the
When you're in the
stadium,
stadium, you have no context.
yeah, you have no context. It's good to know why it was a red.
Hmm.
I'll be at the stadium. I'll be texting a buddy
Yeah.
who's watching it on TV, like, "Hey, yo, what was that?" Like, so it's good to have some context. So I'm all for it for an in-stadium experience.
Yeah, I think it's great, and it's kind of crazy that I mean I haven't seen it anywhere else. Like, is Liga MX pioneering this?
Yes, we are the first in the world
That's
to do
fucking
this.
great, man. I would like to see that across all the matches because I need some explanation for some of those calls on Saturday against Chivas, and I don't think he has the balls to go and say it in front of 40,000 fans. So I
And
think, yeah, go ahead.
no, and that's the thing, right? So it's applying that pressure of like, hey, now you have to go. Like, you made this decision, bro. Go present it to the people. You have to explain what it is, and then now there is a secondary push, and there has been a push for a while to get the audios, just the audio files of tapes released from VAR. Like, hey,
Yeah,
what is it that they're talking about? Because
right.
other leagues around the world do show that. Now, I get it. They're not going to give you that for an in-stadium experience, but as a televised experience as somebody who's enjoying it from home, more than likely than not paying for a premium package to have this, like that would be something fucking awesome.
Absolutely, man. Because a lot of it just goes without any context. I'm like, dude, like, explain your reasoning. And I think that if enough leagues around the world do this, it will be an expectation for the World Cup in 2026.
I think so too, because let's be honest, man, it does make the game a lot more fun when you're like, yo, what the fuck did they see? Like, dude, I'm seeing there's barely any contact above the ankle, but you're deeming everything to be contact above the ankle. Like, where are we? And if anything, that creates like precedent in this season and therefore creates accountability because hey, you just have to go in front of the whole stadium and present as to why you did that. So next week, what's going on, and the so on and so forth.
They won't do it for America games because it'll be someone from Televisa.
Oh, of course. Bro, because they'll have fucking snipers up in the roof for the moment he says something wrong.
They'll be like, this has to be a penalty, okay? Don't ask questions.
I mean, we all saw how like Mexico won El Azteca. We felt dirty.
Wait, which one?
The last classifier.
Yeah.
Qualifier. Like we knew what it felt like to be an America fan. Of like, yo, we're playing until you win.
You talking about the Nations League?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit felt dirty.
Guys, I'm excited. We actually have Champions League football next month, starting on the 7th. So, I'm excited because Chivas are back in it. It's been a while. But yeah, Chivas are going to play against Forge. I believe they are in Canada. I think. I could be wrong. Forge FC. Yeah, they're in the Canadian Premier League.
Man, I'll take it, but these kind of pairings is gonna make League's Cup even stronger. Cause who the hell wants to watch Chivas, Forge, even America fans, versus Real Esteli?
Yep.
Or I mean, like even like Monterrey Comunicaciones, the only ones that are gonna be excited about that is a Comunicaciones fan, so they can bring down the rich Mexican team. But
Hey, your team is in it, St. Louis.
yeah, taking up HH,
Wait,
So
is he still at Houston Dynamo?
yeah, man, I think they were Final Four or something like
Oh,
that.
shit.
Yeah,
he
no,
really was. He was in
he balled
contention
out.
for MVP.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, he had a baller season.
Is that why he's bitching about not getting called up?
And talking
Probably.
super fucking spicy. Like, I won't talk about my career, but blah, 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 blah. It's like, bro, go fuck yourself. All right? You haven't done anything for La Selección in the last 4 years.
Yeah.
To be fair, who has?
That's true.
For sure.
Well, I don't know, man. We have Santi who brought us a title home. And so there you go. We have that.
I just need some football in between, during the week, man. It's not enough
Bro,
to just have Liga MX on Saturday and Sunday. I need it in the middle of the week.
that was my thing. Like, and I said it before. It's like, yo, we need to bring back Copa MX. Porque
Yes.
no mames, güey. Going in between like a whole fucking week without matches. Like,
I know.
bro, you need to tell me I need to spend time with my wife and kids? Fuck that. Give me a match day in between.
You got expansión, my guy. Start watching Cruz Azul Hidalgo.
No mames, güey. Respétate más que eso. Like, dame la copa. Give me like something that's actually gonna take place. Something that matters. Right? Like even in the US, they're starting to like dilute that because now MLS teams are no longer playing in the US Cup.
Right.
So it's kind of like, what the fuck, dude? So por eso están tratando de meter like Champions League. Pero no mames, güey, pinches equipos de segunda que calificaron. A ver, ¿cuáles son los que están de la Liga MX?
So
es Chivas,
Rayados, América,
and Tigres.
And hold on. Is it Tigres?
Has to be. They're champions.
Yeah, they're in there.
All right, well, puta madre, güey. I guess I can watch it por Tigres, a ver cómo es que parten la madre con el equipo B. So a lot of like Linus minutes, a lot of Cordova minutes, a lot of Marcelo. Marcelo's gonna be playing a lot.
Dude, Marcelo, I follow him on Instagram, and this dude's like, I don't know, man. He's just a complete. He's a complete. He got his cornrows in, bro. He looks like he's on that. Was that shit called like the hype beast shit? Just like.
I guess here's the question: does he have like the the metal fronts and the black Air Force Ones? Like, that's the question. Does he have like the grills, like just the fronts
I don't
and the
know.
black Air Force Ones?
I don't know who's dressing him up, bro, but he needs to take some classes or have a personal dresser. And he needs to focus on football because I don't know what he's doing over there in Tigres, rotting on the bench. I don't even think they played this weekend. We're actually going to play tomorrow.
Bro, I mean this in the nicest way, but one of the names that stood out to me was Mocha FC. So I clicked on their Instagram
With the
and their
M?
team.
Mocha?
Yeah, Mocha, Moca, Mocha.
Oh, wow.
And I look at their social media, bro. Their roster, if you want to talk about Marcelo, these guys are thinner than him. They look like kids.
Oh, really?
They look like a U17 team. And this is their first division team that, oh my God, they're about to get like destroyed.
Mocha FC from the Dominican Republic.
I'm curious how like Dominicans are like big beasts in baseball and soccer. They're like malnourished.
Shout out to the Dominican Republic. I've always wanted to go.
Yeah, you have, you horn dog.
I just heard it's beautiful out there.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
You been?
I've heard.
I've heard. Let me see their Instagram. Yeah, dude, they look like kids out there.
Yeah, Tigres is about to be eating out there.
Yeah, Mama se las. First, you use your argument with America. Now you praising Tigres. When are you gonna praise your team that lost to Pachuca? You
Bro,
lost at home to Pachuca.
look, when my team gets back into la Champions, no hay pedo. I'm there. Pero ahorita, ¿quién más hay, güey? Like, las perras con cuernos, no. Las águilas, me la pela. Rayados, no mames, güey. Por lo menos entre los, por lo menos respétate más. Luego, Tigres, si hay algo que, güey, soporto el producto doméstico, la Liga MX.
Oh my God! The last two tournaments you have finished in 8th place. You need to step it up.
Oh, we're trying to, bro. Like, that's why the fuck do you think I threw a bottle of like piss at the head coach? I know it's his first game, pero no mames, güey. Aquí hay exigencias y es un equipo grande. No estamos aquí para
Eso se le
mamadas.
dicen nacos. Se le dicen nacos.
No, güey. Se dice tener exigencias. Que ustedes acá estén felices con un pinche empate el último segundo. Eso es otro pedo y se los he dicho.
No, you know what's exigencia? Cristiano Ronaldo had not scored a goal for Real Madrid in 3 games, so the whole stadium booed him.
Yeah, that shit's crazy.
Now, throwing something at him, like injuring him, no, this was nacos. That's criminales. That's the same America fans que te roban la cartera.
No mames, güey. Entonces me vas a decir que eres uno de esos putos que dicen, ¿por qué tienen que estar ahí los granaderos con los shields para que no le tiren agua a los jugadores, para que no le hagan eso? Mira esos pinches salvajes.
No, I'm talking about the coach. It was the coach's first game in Liga MX.
Pues bienvenido, güey. Si algo fue un pinche bautizo. Si algo fue un pinche bautizo y bienvenido a México, hijo de tu puta madre.
I'm not saying it's right.
Aquí es como
wrong.
es.
I'm just saying that is not having standards. That's just being a low life.
Then call me a low life, call me un pinche macuarro. ¿Sabes qué, güey? Llámame un pinche naco. Pero ¿sabes qué? A mí me encantó.
Man, you guys got a slump buster next week against Juarez, and you'll be facing your goalkeeper, Jurado.
Oh, they took Jurado too? Puta madre, güey. Their Cruz Azul's been. Because not only did they take my boy Jesus Christ, but they also, Jesus Crown. And they also Jesus Christ Crown. And then, now they took Jurado. Fuck Jurado, bro. I hate him. Also, the new goalie from Cruz Azul, he's got hands, dude. Like, there was a couple of times cuando lo trataron And you know what? He made me feel that thing that Jurado never did. He made me feel secure. I wasn't like, la
Wow.
verga,
That's a
way,
real
like,
man.
it's gonna go in. I know, way. Like, me apachachó. It was like that moment from Ghost, bro. I was making pottery and he was just fucking holding me safe.
I know they lost, but Jurado had a really good save, a couple of good saves against Pumas the other day. I think he made the wrong decision when he, picked Cruz Azul.
Do you guys
So, are
think that
you
guy
gonna?
can bounce back? Do you think he can bounce back to like national team
Ah,
call-ups?
I think he's gonna be a run of the mill goalkeeper, but the guy just needs playing time. He wasn't getting it. I mean, he was at Veracruz, right? That's where he was originally from, Veracruz.
Yeah, but I mean, I bet at Cruz he was doing the same thing Ochoa was doing in France, playing for a shitty team and having
Yeah,
like 10 saves a game.
yeah. It's just concerning that in Veracruz, that's where he got his start. He had 37 appearances, and since moving to Cruz Azul, he's only had 32 appearances in 4 years. So it's like he went from being a starter to just riding the pine. It just wasn't a smart move for him to go there. And he's now just, getting his career going again. And he's already 26. So that is youth development in a nutshell.
But he had his chances, and every single chance that he had, he just took a giant shit. If anything, is the question of le quedó grande la playera, sí o no? ¿Verdad? Like, what happened that Cruz Azul was too much of a club, too much of pressure for him to even function in? Because let's be honest, guys, I don't know if you guys watch games with him, pero when I did, it was like, wait, ¿cómo putas eres portero? Más que nada, ¿cómo putas eres un portero en primera división? Like, no mames, güey.
Yeah.
Entonces era una de esas cosas de que qué pedo está pasando. Ok, ahora espero que pueda rebotar y que, reviva su carrera, pero no creo que pueda llegar al nivel de la selección o ser un jugador importante nacional, ya que la cagó en un equipo grande como Cruz Azul. No, no mames, güey, ¿a dónde se tendría que ir?
So
Where would he have to go
I was shitting
to
on
get that clout
Yarbrough.
back?
I was shitting on Yarbrough earlier because he's at San Jose Earthquakes now, and you're like,
Yeah.
he was a great goalkeeper. I'm like, was he?
He was, though. The work that he did when he was in León, que fue y no ganó, pero competió and they had a deep run into Libertadores. Then they came back over here and they won, I think, I don't want to say bicampeonato, pero almost back to back, bro, to the point where like every year the conversation around León was campeonitis.
Mm.
Like, ese güey, at a certain point in his career, was good enough where I was looking and I was like, why doesn't he get called up to be the third goalie for the Mexican national team? He has eligibility. He's born in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
The only problem with him is that he's gone on the record and saying that he doesn't really identify, not so much as Mexican, but with the Mexican culture. And I myself would personally blame a lot of him growing up being called Güerito, El Gringo, and all of that bullying.
Yeah.
That came with a name of Yarborough because his family relocated and they're like from Yucatan or some shit like that,
missionaries. So they're his parents are American,
Mm-hmm.
but his parents were missionaries and they settled in over there. I think in La Ciudad de Juárez or somewhere around there to like build houses and stuff. Yeah.
And so de ahí es el güerito, ¿verdad? So I wanted him to be at least get a call up to the Mexican national team. Si puta madre, güey, si el Chaco got called up, why couldn't he?
Mm. Yeah, look, we do have a goalkeeping crisis. Unfortunately, I think Malagon is the natural suitor at this moment. He plays for America. He's won a championship. I think it's like Televisa doing what they did with Ochoa, right? Just making him like the next guy, the next in kin. So I honestly think it's going to be the next goalkeeper after Ochoa until somebody else steps up. And I was disappointed with Fernando Gago, right? Like he decided to discard Wacho Jimenez, and I'm like, here we go, finally. Wale is gonna get his chance and still riding the pine, man. And I think Rangel is okay, but I just want to see what Wally's got.
I mean, but at this point, what do you blame Wally? I mean, that's what 2 or 3 coaches now, and he doesn't get an opportunity. So obviously, he's probably not that good.
Yeah.
So it's probably that. I mean, honestly, I, Rangel looked good. He looked good in League's Cup. I think they had one mistake, but I don't know. The guy they need to call up is Dragon. To me, is like
Mm-hmm.
if your name is Dragon and you're a starter at Tapatio and you won the title,
Yep.
you have to be the starting goalkeeper. You have to be the next guy. It's like having like a cool, nice mustache and like not being a porn star. Like you got to. How do you have a guy named Dragon, El Dragon, and not having your starting goalkeeper?
Yeah. I'm disappointed that San Jose went after Yarbrough because we do have a Mexican at San Jose. His name's Emi Ochoa. Very young. I think he's maybe 18 years old. Um, but obviously, with them going after a uh, experienced guy, he's probably not going to be the starting goalkeeper for the Earthquakes anytime soon. But he has played for both the U.S. and the Mexican national team at the youth level. I think he kind of flip flopped. He was in the U15 for the U.S., then he went to Mexico in 2021, and now he's back at the under 19 in the United States.
Yeah, that's pretty normal. I feel like most Mexican Americans do that. Try to see where they feel best, and they'll keep flip flopping because they know once they hit the majors, they probably won't.
Mm-hmm.
But it also kind of brings up the point that, with Brandon Vasquez, Pepe, and all these guys, even if they do choose Mexico, a lot of them are not choosing the U.S. or Mexico like per what their heart says per se. It's just where they feel they have a more accessible
A
chance
better
of
chance.
going to a World Cup. So it's kind of like I guess diluting national team call ups because it's at that point it's like a career business decision. It's not like this is where my passion is taking me. So if you ask me, it's like why do you even want guys like that?
I mean, that's what it comes down to, right? It's a decision for your career and not your heart, not your what your parents expect of you or anything. It's about realistically who's going to give me a chance. And for the longest time it's been the United States. They've been the easier team to break into and to get a chance at the World Cup. And in Mexico, it's not easy.
Yeah, I guess I'm just an old head. I just feel like I would go with the one more passionate about because I feel like that's what's gonna make me work harder and bust my
Right.
ass more
Yeah.
and like be a better player as opposed going where it's like easy and like I really won't care that much as far as the result because my heart's not tied to it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe that's
I
just
think
me.
it's easier when you're not in that situation, but imagine you were in their shoes, right? You're a professional soccer player, you're getting attention from both the US and the Mexican national team, but you were born in the US and you've had a life here. But your heart says you're Mexican, but then the only one calling you up is US. Like, do you take it or or does that mean you just got to work harder? Like, what do you do in that scenario? It's a tough one. It's not easy.
Yeah, it's not easy for sure, but I mean, if I was a U.S. national team fan, I'd say screw that guy. If he identifies as Mexican, have him work his ass off for Mexico. I want people here that are passionate about the U.S. men's national team, and vice versa. So I don't know. I just feel like, both teams are fighting over these players, and these players are just doing what's more convenient, which is fair. It's their career.
Yeah.
But you would think, in the World Cup, because the World Cup's, it's almost like a world war. Like you want like those passionate guys that love your country to be representing you.
Well, we haven't seen that in Mexico for a long time, and that is because we haven't had a Mexican coach at the helm until now. But like, was it you that brought this up on the chat? It's like, we obviously knew where Tata's alliances lay, but at the time, what about La Volpe?
He beat Argentina at Copa America,
Yep.
so that kind of cleared some doubts. Because I mean, how long he had been in Mexico by that point? 20 years, I think, or more. By that point, when he had been in Mexico, I don't know if his kids were born in Mexico, but I know they were married to Mexicans, and his grandkids definitely are Mexican. And then the Confederaciones game, which is a really hard fought match,
Mm-hmm.
and it looked like Mex was gonna get that second win because the Copa America was the first official win. I think it's the only official win over Argentina. Um, and I and that's the match where Coluccini injures Moncho. And if I'm not mistaken,
Oh,
I think that might be the same Coluccini that is part of Gago's coaching squad.
staffing.
Yes, that's him
I
guy.
think he might be. If I'm
Very
Moncho, man,
good
I'll creep
player.
up behind that guy. Like, remember me, bitch? Just kick him in the ankle or something. they, they need to fight like in what's that movie? Like the Wrong Burgundy when the anchors fight.
Yeah, Anchorman.
Just yeah, you bring up his old Chiva players and Coluccini and then just have at it. But yeah, that game was in that, and then finally at the World Cup, and at the World Cup, this story Ron told us, but you can verify it. It's because La Volpe has said it himself.
Hmm.
He took his medal. He took his medal because La Volpe was with the Argentina squad that won the 1978 World Cup. He was the third keeper, but he received the gold medal, like the winner's medal, and he had that medal, the gold melted, and he made, I don't know if he did watches, but he made something and gave it to the Mex players at the World Cup. They went with
Hmm.
him to the World Cup.
Now, the thing
Yeah,
about that is, let's remember, La Golpe was coming off of a pretty hot streak overall, which we just kind of talked about, versus Tata was coming in off of hot shit.
Yep.
And the big thing, and what I think is the biggest kind of like nail in the coffin, is that with La Volpe, we were used to seeing one specific style of football. And once we got to the World Cup, that style stayed true. He didn't like really play anything out of pocket as to how Tata with Argentina just completely flipped the script and nobody knew what the fuck was going on. Not us as spectators and not even the players
Players.
themselves.
Uh-huh.
So I think that's where the questions of like, yo, is he a turncoat? Like, what's happening?
Yeah.
Why do we get fucked? That's where the questions come in, especially when was it Luis Chavez who made the statement of like, we didn't even know what we were doing.
Yep.
And so that's where all the questions come in. If anything, I would say that La Volpe being who he is, probably had a much better control of the locker room just because of his temperament and the way that he likes to just kind of run the entire shit.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone questioned Tata's alliances and his enthusiasm for coaching the Mexican national team. I'm actually convinced that he had resigned and they refused to accept it.
He did. He resigned twice, and they
Yeah.
refused to take it.
So
They
yeah.
forced him into his contract. The other thing is that I'm gonna say didn't bode well for Tata is the fact that like every other day he would go back to Argentina
Yeah.
and spend like weeks at a time there.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just
So
it was a terrible project. And when you guys talk about, choosing your alliance and having that passion and going into the World Cup, like I haven't seen a Mexican team with that kind of garra since La Volpe was in charge. You just don't see it. I guess you could say maybe Piojo got that from his players in 2014, but it's been a minute. It's been a minute. So, we'll see how it goes in the Copa America this year. But yeah, folks, that's all I had on the docket tonight. You guys got any other topics you'd like to discuss?
yo estoy bien, por mí no hay pedo, ¿verdad? Quiero ver a ver qué pasa la próxima semana. Hasta eso, I will give you guys my final take, which is, you know what? To reach greatness, you have to face adversity first. So starting off the season with a loss is just what happens, and that is the way history is written in the books of champions. So no se preocupen, güeyes. Cruz Azul regresa al azul, vuelve a ser campeón, y yo me voy a romper la mano jalándomela cuando seamos campeón. So, no se preocupen. Aparte de eso, que pasen buenas noches y no se olviden, los odio a todos.
Haha. Abdias, grand opening, grand closing. Thanks for joining us tonight. I did see something that caught my attention right now. The most valued Mexican is Santiago Jimenez, 50 million euros. Second place, Edson Alvarez over at West Ham, 35. Chucky Lozano, 22. Julian Quiñones, 10. El Chiquito Sanchez, 9. Luis Chavez, 8. Kevin Alvarez, 7. Angulo, 7. Alvarado, 6.5. And Orbelin Pineda finishing the top 10 at 6.5. This is according to Transfer Markets.
Damn, Chicky retains some value, 22 million. No
I
wonder
know, right?
MLS or Liga MX teams can't sign him still.
I don't think he's worth that, but I do find that interesting.
Isn't he like 28?
Chucky? I thought he was in his 30s by now, no?
No, he's young, isn't he?
Chucky Lozano is 28. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I mean he's still worth that. He's a national team player. He's won titles in the countries he's played in. I think 20 million is a fair number,
Yeah.
especially in today's market. As far as my final thought, it's January 16th. It feels like the month is coming to an end, and I think this month for Gago could be huge. Both extremes,
Mm-hmm.
the 21st, he visits Tigres. A lot of fans want to be Tigres, but most importantly, a lot of fans don't want to be embarrassed in El Volcán. And then to top it off with that, he finishes the month off at home versus Toluca. So does Alexis
Ooh.
Vega play versus Chivas, right away, Tuesday, January 30th? Does Alexis Vega score on Chivas, and how does he react? So I think it's off. I like the schedule for Chivas.
It's a good
Santos,
test.
Tigres, Tijuana, Toluca. I like it, and then it gets a little easier. Like San Luis, Juarez, things like that. Mazatlan, 4J, or whatever. But I like the start. I think if Gago can get past this, it'd be amazing for him. If not, I wouldn't be surprised if people are asking for his head by middle of February.
I like your hot take. I do like these matchups. It's a good test for Chivas, a good test for Gago. Our next match, I didn't realize was already against Tigres Sunday. Um, yeah, I think the only other match that sticks out that weekend is probably Santos Monterrey. Should be a good scrap there. We do have a makeup match tomorrow at 5 p.m. Leon Tigres. They were the only teams that didn't play uh the first fixture. So Tigres, I guess, could go into that game on Sunday with a little bit more fatigue, less rest, I guess. But I'm excited to see if Cade Cowell will make his debut. That's what I'm looking forward to. Joel, you got anything for us?
I don't know, man. Final thought. I think Chicha's supposed to arrive next week. He might be at the stadium, so Cowell might be debuting. So looking forward to that. Might start seeing a turning point in Chivas, abandoning the pobreza, EBT handouts, and all that. Because you have certain things lining up, like the Amazon deal. Those could be good.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Yep. You know, I've been very, very what's the word? Just trying to keep it calm, trying to keep, until I see the signed documents, I won't believe it. But I am hoping Chicharito is announced soon. Um, it would make me very happy. So we'll see what happens this week. But want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. I don't really have a hot take, but I do want to thank again our sponsor, Manscaped, with that Lawnmower 5.0. If you haven't already tried it out, get 20% off at manscaped.com with the promo code Cantina at checkout. All right, folks. We'll catch you in the next one. Have a great week. Want to thank Layana Del Rey for joining us on the YouTube tonight. Appreciate it. We encourage you to return